The thick cream envelope sat open on Aunt Evelyn's polished oak coffee table. But it was the glossy wedding album that stopped my heart cold. There stood my brother Ryan, beaming in his tuxedo beside his new wife Brooke under a flower arch by the lake. The date printed clearly at the bottom of the photo. Last weekend. Not tomorrow. Like the invitation in my purse claimed. Aunt Evelyn, I whispered, my voice barely carrying across her sunlit living room. I thought you knew. Laura, she replied, her tone thick with regret and something heavier. Like guilt. The crystal picture frame I'd brought as a gift slipped from my numb fingers and shattered on the hardwood floor. Shards glittered in the afternoon light streaming through the bay windows of her suburban Chicago home, each fragment mirroring the fracture inside me. I fumbled for the invitation, pulling out the heavy cardstock with my name in elegant script. See? June 15th. Tomorrow. I took the day off work. Spent weeks picking the perfect dress and gift. Aunt Evelyn adjusted her glasses, her hands shaking slightly as she examined it. Oh, Laura. The wedding happened last weekend. They sent you the wrong date on purpose. The room seemed to tilt. I had driven from my downtown Chicago apartment this morning full of cautious hope. Maybe this invitation signaled a new chapter. A chance to finally feel included after years of feeling like an outsider in my own family. At the family dinner 2 months earlier when Ryan announced his engagement, his eyes had scanned everyone but me. Still, I smiled, congratulated him, and ignored the sting. I spent that weekend visiting boutiques across the North Shore, trying on dresses that felt elegant yet understated, something that might help me blend in without drawing attention. The sales associate had complimented my glowing smile in the mirror. And for a moment, I believed it. Now, kneeling to gather the broken glass carefully, I waved off Aunt Evelyn's attempt to help. I've got it. My hands trembled, but my voice steadied. They'd always made me feel invisible. This made it official. No more excuses for their distance. No more telling myself they were just busy or that my successes intimidated them. Aunt Evelyn sighed, wringing her hands. I argued with your mother about this. Told her it was wrong. Even cruel. But she insisted you'd bring up uncomfortable topics or ask embarrassing questions. I nearly laughed bitterly. Uncomfortable like the tens of thousands I'd quietly transferred through my investment firm to cover the family cabin on Lake Michigan's taxes and repairs when it faced foreclosure. Embarrassing like why Ryan's failed tech startup and subsequent brewery venture always got bailouts while my promotions at the marketing agency were dismissed as just spreadsheets. I'd spent years chasing their approval, believing achievement and sacrifice would earn me a seat at the table. Wrapping the shards in the festive paper now felt like another cruel joke. Aunt Evelyn touched my arm gently. Some people can't see what's right in front of them. Laura. Not won't, can't. The realization settled like a weight lifting slowly. No amount of help would make them value me. I'd been trying to purchase love that should have been unconditional. ¿Y tu taller? Meeting her eyes. Something tectonic had shifted. Tomorrow, instead of attending a wedding that never included me, I'd drive to my parents' colonial-style home in the North Shore suburbs. The manicured lawn and gleaming windows hid the rot inside. I pictured them lounging with the new album, laughing without me. This time, I wouldn't apologize for existing. The next afternoon, my hands gripped the steering wheel tightly as I pulled into their circular driveway. Through the partially open window, I heard my mother's delicate laugh, the sound I'd chased my whole life. My father leaned back in his recliner, more at ease than usual. Ryan stood by the mantel, holding up the wedding portrait. Best choice we made was keeping her away. She always ruins the vibe. Nausea rose sharply. I stood in the entryway unnoticed for several minutes as they flipped pages. Oblivious. Finally, my mother spotted me. Laura, she said flatly. No warmth. Just acknowledgement of an intruder. The champagne flute vanished behind a framed photo with practiced ease. The wedding was last weekend, I said, my voice steadier than expected. You sent the wrong date intentionally. Ryan didn't glance up from the album. I needed one perfect day without your intensity disrupting everything. The blunt honesty landed harder than any defense would have. My mother adjusted her pearl necklace nervously. We needed one special occasion without your presence overshadowing things. My father stayed silent, eyes on his hands, a coward's approval. I stepped deeper into the room, noting how they claimed the comfortable seats while I stood. It perfectly captured our dynamic. I've covered thousands for the Lake Michigan cabin repairs and taxes through my firm. Did you think I wouldn't notice you telling everyone it was still fully yours? My mother waved dismissively. Successful kids help their parents. It's your duty. While you're playing with marketing campaigns, Ryan builds real things, visions, businesses. Ryan smirked. Dad created something lasting. What do you produce besides money? Their words crystallized years of dismissal. To them, I was an ATM with inconvenient feelings, not a daughter or sister. Catching my reflection in the ornate mirror, I saw a woman diminished, shoulders hunched in apology. How long had this version of me lived here? Let me clarify what you've forgotten, I said, retrieving a slim folder from my bag. Inside were records of every transfer, repair, and tax payment on the cabin. And, crucially, the deed shows my company as sole owner. You signed over your share 3 years ago when Ryan needed cash for his failing startup. My mother's eyes narrowed with uncertainty. My father looked up, confusion dawning. You're welcome to challenge it legally, I continued. Strength building. The documents are solid. Sophia Ramirez, our former family attorney, handled it for me now. The room thickened with tension as the truth landed. 15 minutes later, walking back to my car with steady steps despite trembling hands, I debated immediately severing all financial support or tapering it to allow adjustment. The temptation for swift justice was strong. But would that make me as heartless as them? What do you do when the people meant to love you unconditionally have only seen you as a resource? I started the engine, the low hum steadying my pulse. For the first time since that deceptive invitation arrived, a fragile peace settled. Perhaps the real transformation wasn't Ryan's wedding but my own commitment to the woman I was becoming, someone who no longer begged for scraps of belonging. My phone vibrated repeatedly that afternoon. Cousins suddenly concerned about my mental state. My mother had clearly been rallying the family narrative. Uncle Robert called. Laura. Honey. We're worried. Your mother mentioned some wild claims. I pressed my temple. Did she explain the fake wedding date so I wouldn't attend? His pause confirmed it. There must be a misunderstanding. No misunderstanding. Uncle Robert. They excluded me deliberately. Hanging up, I checked social media. Ryan had posted wedding photos with the caption, surrounded by everyone who matters. The glaring absence in every frame now screamed louder than ever. Later, a formal letter arrived on my father's business letterhead demanding the cabin's return, framing me as the thief rather than the savior. Night after night, I spread old family photographs across my bed. Smiling faces mocked my past naivety. Had I invented moments of connection where only tolerance existed? Loneliness pressed heavier without the illusion of family ties. At 3 a.m., in a weak moment, my thumb hovered over my mother's number. Maybe one apology could fix it. But whose peace? Not mine. Instead, I opened my laptop and built a detailed spreadsheet. Every check for Ryan's failed ventures. Every property tax payment. Every unrepaid loan. Each entry fortified the boundary I was finally constructing. Tuesday afternoon brought a welcome knock. Aunt Evelyn appeared with bags from my favorite deli. Thought you might be forgetting to eat, she said, setting down a sandwich. Her hand on my shoulder, turquoise rings catching light, nearly broke my composure. I'm proud you're standing up for yourself. This family needed someone with courage. Before I could reply, my assistant buzzed. Miss Bennett, your parents are in the lobby without an appointment. Aunt Evelyn offered to stay. I straightened. I need to face this alone. When they entered, my mother summoned tears instantly. Mascara flawless. How could you abandon us? We've always supported you. My father stood rigidly. The cabin's been generational. You have no right. They remained standing as I sat behind my desk, a deliberate reversal. That cabin stopped being yours years ago. You transferred it when Ryan needed funds. Mother's tears dried. We did no such thing. I produced the signed document. April 3 years back. Right here. Father stepped forward. We assumed you'd return it once stable. You assumed I'd keep funding while excluded. The words came easier now. I'm not your bank or safety net. I'm done. For the first time, my mother looked at me with fear instead of disappointment. The intercom announced Sophia's arrival. She entered authoritatively. Mr. and Mrs. Bennett, our business is concluded. My mother hissed about family matters. I replied, that's why my attorney handles it now. All communication goes through her. Sophia escorted them out. Father glanced back once, his certainty replaced by confusion. Alone, Sophia reviewed documents. Ready to formalize? Signing each page built my confidence. The 30-day eviction notice for the cabin felt like declaring independence. Sophia confirmed, their signatures are binding. No legal standing. My phone rang, Ryan's name. First call in years. I let it ring. Some calls aren't worth answering. The next morning, documents covered David Lang's mahogany desk like strategic maps. I signed deliberately. Confidence growing per page. Joint accounts closed. Loans transferred. Portfolios separated. David checked off items methodically. Perfect timing. Your parents should be midway through their country club lunch now. I checked my watch. 12:37. Mother on her second gin and tonic. Father politely nodding at retirees. Their predictable routines became my advantage. What about the restraining order? David adjusted his glasses. Judge will review this afternoon. Thorough evidence of workplace harassment. I recalled their unannounced lobby visits. Lobby scenes. Office whispers. My fist clenched under the desk. David said, I've seen families destroy each other. Laura, you're choosing wisely. Security called. Your brother is demanding entry in the lobby. David activated speakerphone. Is he causing issues? Yes, ma'am. Insistent on financial matters. David noted it strengthened the order case. I'm not coming down. Follow protocols for unauthorized visitors. 15 minutes later. An unfamiliar number. Laura. It's Brooke. Ryan's wife. Her voice wavered. I'm outside by the fountain. I saw the lobby scene. I had no idea. Through the window. She stood hunched against the breeze. He said you refused wedding help out of jealousy. But you didn't even know the real date. Did you? The admission lingered. I'm sorry. I should have questioned your absence. The diamond on her finger sparkled. Newlywed and already seeing cracks. David stepped out discreetly. Why tell me now? I asked. His face today reminded me of my father's before he threatened my mother. I'm not waiting decades to face it. Could this connection to my pain become an ally? Or another trap? Aunt Evelyn arrived later with a worn briefcase of old emails, texts, and records spanning a decade. Your mother kept everything for leverage. Flipping pages revealed patterns. Need funds for Ryan's startup. Laura won't mind co-signing. Tell Laura cabin repairs are minor. Hide the boat purchase. Each message struck like a blow. Sophia arrived. Hardening at key documents. This cements cabin ownership and shows exploitation. The judge will see it clearly. David confirmed enhanced account security. The following morning, Sophia called. Judge granted the restraining order, 500 feet from home and workplace due to emotional and financial harassment. Aunt Evelyn reported dominoes falling. Cousin Rebecca canceled bridge with my mother. Unable to face her. Uncle Stephen removed them from holiday invites. Grandmother's friend declined dinner. Ryan's drinking rose as Brooke considered returning home. Taking financial stability. The eviction notice hit their mailbox. Reality crashed in. The cabin, purchased outright by my firm 3 years prior, when taxes overwhelmed them, was never truly theirs anymore. Truth unfolded document by document. Wednesday morning. Sunlight gleamed on my office building's granite lobby. Security guards exchanged glances as my parents entered with Pastor Williams. Mother's coat hung askew. Hair disheveled. Father hunched unusually. The pastor clutched his Bible like armor. Laura, Pastor Williams extended a hand with practiced calm. Your parents wanted neutral support. I didn't shake it. Nothing neutral about someone at our Christmas table for decades. Pastor. Mother stepped forward, voice wavering. We've prayed about your recent behavior. My behavior? I laughed quietly. The generational cabin. Father began. Pastor touched my arm. Forgiveness is divine. Bonds transcend disagreements. Disagreements. Heat rose. Deliberate exclusion and exploitation? Mother whispered about church gossip. The Thornton girl had similar issues. Everyone talks.
¿Y tu taller?
I was promoted to creative strategy director and landed the Richardson account.
Did they mention that?
Pastor blinked. I placed the fake and real invitations on the desk. They sent the wrong date deliberately to bar me from my brother's wedding. Pastor suggested difficult family choices for peace. I interrupted. I've turned the other cheek endlessly. Now I'm choosing to live. I listed unpaid loans. Forgotten Thanksgivings contrasted with roof repair calls. Cabin payments. Pastor's certainty wavered. Mother interjected about sacrifices. Name one that wasn't for Ryan. Silence answered. Handing my father a manila envelope of cropped family photos where I was sidelined. I'm releasing myself from pretending I matter. You're free too. Mother protested. You can't stop being family. Stan from security approached. Everything okay? Miss Bennett. Yes. My visitors are leaving. This isn't over, Father said. It is. The elevator doors closed on Mother's protests. Lightness spread in my chest, replacing decades of weight. 2 weeks later. News via Aunt Evelyn. Ryan lost his job. Marriage strained financially. I felt only distant pity. Father's first letter arrived with precise handwriting. I set it aside unopened beside coffee. Studying the seal. Inside might hold manipulation or genuine reflection. The choice not to open it immediately was newfound power. A year later. Morning sun flooded my Lake Michigan cabin office, now my sanctuary. No family portraits. Just my own landscape photographs from solo trips. My phone rang without tensing my shoulders. Laura Bennett, I answered while organizing notes for a potential client. Explaining authentic brand storytelling. I glanced at the calendar. Half marathon. Photography workshop. Montana trip. No more obligatory family dates filled with wounds. The call ended. I breathed deeply. The mail brought a cream envelope, Cousin Rachel's wedding invitation. Date accurate. Handwritten note. It wouldn't be the same without you. The old Laura would have dropped everything for the perfect gift and rehearsed responses.
Now.
Checking my calendar. The date clashed with my main retreat. I wrote a sincere RSVP declining politely and planned a thoughtful gift freely given. Not for approval. That evening, Aunt Evelyn brought apple crumble. David wine. Sophia arrived last laughing about court. 1 year of solid boundaries, David toasted. To chosen family and new beginnings, Aunt Evelyn added. Laughter rose genuinely from deep within. Later, I opened Father's recent letter. Unlike early guilt-laden ones, this acknowledged harm simply. I failed you. You deserved better. I placed it in the wooden box with others, acknowledged, not glorified or burned. Beside it, a mentoring program brochure and Portugal itinerary symbolize futures on my terms. Closing the box, I pondered, does healing require reconciliation or peace with the past? Is family blood alone? Or those who cherish your heart? Some bridges burn to protect, others rebuild stronger. What would you choose when discovering those closest have only taken? The weight of betrayal lingers like faint smoke, but so does the freedom of choosing yourself. In the quiet of my cabin, the lake whispers possibilities, reminding that true belonging starts within.